To live is to stick around. Welcome back. So here we are. To live is to die. The last of the 4 bass tracks on Injustice for All that did not used to exist, and the second to the last song in my series. After the next song, Dyer's Eve, the series will end, and I will have honored my commitment to you to bring you the first 4 albums and 5 EPs with more bass. Thank you for sticking with us for this long, and let's get started. Written by James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, and Cliff Burton, To Live Is To Die is the 8th song on Metallica's 4th album, Injustice for All. When I was a kid, I used to think the spoken word section of this song was Cliff, but the song was recorded after he passed, the songwriting credit was posthumous, and the bass, like every other song on the album, was recorded by Jason Newsted. The main event! A quick backstory from yours truly, and it's gonna date me. When I was in high school, about 3 weeks before the Black Album dropped, Metallica released a cover of Queen's Stone Cold Crazy for Elektra Records' 40th anniversary record, Rubaiyat. And the first thing you noticed was the bass. You could hear Jason, and you didn't listen to Injustice for All and think, where's the bass? It's just one of those things. It was just the album, that's the way it sounded, right? But when the Black Album came out, there was all this hype about how the bass sounded and how the album had such a fuller sound, because they really did want the guy who produced Dr. Feelgood from Motley Crue with this big, rich bottom end, this big, heavy sound, and it was all driven by bass and low mid guitar frequency. So when we heard that, and by the way, I had that recorded off of FM radio on my stereo cassette deck, and I played it over and over again. But the most noticeable thing in the mix was hearing that bass and Jason's pick on the bass, and it really was something that caught my eye. And then when the Black Album came out, you instantly wished you could hear the bass on Injustice for All, and it was instantly apparent that the bass wasn't there. And they talked about how Jason's bass frequencies clashed with James's bass guitar frequencies, and it was just all this garbage about basically they turned him down and didn't want to admit it. Regardless, on Echo Bass 2, the first 4 albums, the first 5 EPs, and every song on them now sound more like the Black Album, and they're compiled in release date order as a complete collection for your listening enjoyment. Once again, we have Ian Rushforth to thank for this super stem for To Live Is To Die. Like the previous 3 that didn't have bass tracks, this is an amalgamation of multiple stems so that every part of Jason's bass track can be heard. If you want to thank Ian, go to his channel and give him a subscribe. Now, the cool thing about To Live Is To Die's super stem versus the previous 3 was there was no big shift in tone from bass to treble and back, and there was no scratchy notes, so I didn't need to use bright tracks and dull tracks. So it's all just here on Jason and Double. Just these 2 tracks were all that I needed. So without further ado, my automation lane. That's a bit of an exaggeration, obviously, but my series is almost over and I've always wanted to do that. You're going to want headphones for this one. On the Re-Remastered version, not a lot of it cuts through, but on the bass-only video, listen out for the de-remastered version and try it with headphones. You'll hear he throws in all kinds of rhythmic variations, fifths, octaves, all kinds of cool stuff. We've all heard what I refer to as the bass solo on To Live Is To Die. It's the quiet part where you can actually hear Jason, the only time on the album where you can hear him. But what he plays under James's guitar solo reminds me if you've ever been in a church that has a pipe organ and they have the bass pedals. It's very legato-y and it rings out and it's beautiful. Jason's bass part definitely adds a missing dimension for me. Once you've heard it with his bass, I'm going to quote Ian here. He said, "I used to think this song was quite repetitive and, dare I say it, a bit boring at places. Jason's bass lines provide variety, richness, and general interest to the track." Listen out for the last 4 hits of Lars' drum roll here. Jason matches it with a fifth octave of a triad. It's pretty cool. He does arpeggios in this thing everywhere. In addition to Delivers to Die's Re-Remastered video today, look for the demastered video as well. It'll feature all the isolated tracks as generated by track separation software. It'll feature a very short vocals only, a guitars only, a drums only, an instrumental, and an instrumental with bass, which is basically the re-remastered song ran through track separation software. In addition to the first 2 videos, look for the bass only video, which will feature the automated bass only, which is Ian's 4th and final super stem, fully automated so that all the fills can be heard in the mix, with plugins to emulate Jason's bass tone, as well as compression. The second segment of that video will feature the de-remastered remix, which is where we bring the song down 4 decibels so that you can hear the bass loud in the mix, as well as a not automated version of the same stem. And the last 4 sections of the video are the automated and not automated versions, with and without plugins and with and without compression, so that should you wish to make your own remixes, you can maximize how you want to attack them. Time now once again for the In-Album Lifeline segment, brought to you as always by Fresh Produce, no not the brand, the concept. Eat your fruits and veggies. In this segment I always ask the question, would I trade? There's 9 songs on Injustice for All. 5 of them had their bass tracks leaked by the Guitar Hero game developers. To Live Is To Die is not one of them. And I would say for as much ground as Jason covered, for the great job he did with his bass part, the song itself does not stack up to the 5 songs that have available bass tracks, so the answer is no, I would not trade. That's going to do it for this week. Look for 3 To Live Is To Die videos on Echo Base 2 today. There will be another shorter supplemental episode for To Live Is To Die, and Ian and I will be giving you a no-fade version of the song on Echo Base 2 very soon. In the meantime, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. This is the Metallica Re-Remastered series. Stay tuned for more. Welcome back. So here we are. Welcome back. So here we are. To Live Is To Die. The second to the last. Oh, fuck you, Billy. Welcome back. Check. Welcome back. So here we are. Your voice sucks today. Welcome back. So here we are. You're an idiot.